as usually, before we start today's class, what did we do in the previous class? In fact, we have solved, we have discussed two problems. In fact, one problem, that is basically to know, to find C by N ratio, carrier to noise power ratio. So for that, the data has been given at what frequency it is operating, and then it has been given the link budget table. Link budget table where what is the transmit power, receiving power, and what are the kinds of the losses. Everything is given in that. So all of you, please mute your mobile phones. Please do that immediately. Please do that. And we solve that problem, and then we have entered into the another problem where you supposed to calculate for a given C by 2 ratio, C by N ratio, the satellite link design, it is predefined that to get such an C by N ratio of that, what could be the, or what would be the transmitting power? What could be the transmitting power? So for that, you need to calculate what is the PT. In the earlier case, it has been given that for the given link budget calculations, that means everything has given, all the kinds of the losses which are present in that, what could be the transmitter feeder loss, in case it is mentioned in this problem as a waveguide losses, waveguide transmitting losses and waveguide receiving losses. But when we are discussing the topic where we said that it is the transmitter feeder loss and the receiver feeder loss, but it is the same. So those losses are given, and you can go through directly. In the first problem, there is no need to get the one value, then you substituting one into the other. Directly, all the data has been given. Just you have to know the formula for what is the C carrier power and what is the N noise power. Just you take down that C by N. All the values are given in the problem that we have considered in the previous case. And now we are going to see the next problem, and then we'll move to the next topic as well. So now just I'm going to share the screen, and now you can see here. So is it visible to you all, my screen? So I'm closing this. So this is what is the, is my screen is visible to you all? Is my screen is visible to you all? Okay, somebody.
Visible, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. And now let's go for the next problem. This already I explained you orally in the last class. Just you can look into this problem. So because in this chapter, the problems can also be expected in internal as well as external exams, particularly in the external exam, in fact. So now the problem is like this. So before we go to this problem, and you can also see the problem one where just you need to know what is the formula for that and substitute all the values in that. That's all. So now this is what is given. This is called as a link budget table. This is called as a link budget table. All are given in the dBs. Therefore, you need not to convert them into the dB. Just you can take the formula for what is the C by N. This is the formula. And PT, GT, GR minus all the losses is the carrier. And noise power is the KT, BN. And all are given. Just you can go ahead with that formula and substitute all the values in that. You will get the answer. And now this is, in this problem, just you can see the design of a transmitting earth station, please you can see here, is it related to the uplink or downlink? In the problem itself, we can have the idea about that. So design a transmitting earth station to provide a clear air C by N of 26 dB. Please remember that here he has restricted what could be the C by N ratio. It should be the 26 dB. So to obtain the carrier to noise power of the 26 dB of a C-band transponder, which is operating at 6.25 gigahertz. This is the one statement. He has fixed the C by N ratio. And also it is operating in the C-band of 6.285. So further you need to design, it has designed the transmitting earth station for this. So use an uplink antenna with a diameter of 9 mm and aperture efficiency of 68 in the work banon. Find the uplink transmitter power. Ikkada you need to calculate. Find the uplink transmitter power, PT. What is that? Ask us to find the uplink transmitter power, PT. Right. Required to achieve the required C by N. What is that required? 26 dB already given in that. So to obtain this 26 dB, what would be the uplink transmitter power? That is nothing but PT you need to calculate. That's what is the problem given in this. Find the uplink transmitter power, PT. So in the given problem, you have to know that what are the data has been given and what is the data or the parameter you need to calculate. What is your aim in this problem? That you must be very clear about that. Therefore, find the PT. That is what he has asked us to find to achieve the required C by N. Right. The uplink station is located on the 2 dB counter of the satellite footprint, and this 2 dB can be considered as a loss because it is located on this counter of the satellite footprint, and also allow 0.5 dB for clear air, atmospheric attenuation and other losses. So he is asking some other loss you need to calculate, you need to consider when you are designing the transmitting earth station to obtain 26 dB. What would be the PT, and in that case you need to consider the 0.5 dB for clear air, atmospheric attenuation and other losses. So though we said that this earth station is in the clear air, but it is the problem itself. He asked us to consider the contour satellite footprint, therefore it could be the loss, and 0.5 dB also has to be considered for the atmospheric attenuation and other losses. So whereas in the first problem, he has given all the losses in dBs, but here he has given only the two things. Therefore, you have to consider what is the C by N formula for the transmitting earth station for a uplink design or the uplink direction. Then you have to get that and you can substitute the values. But in that, so C by N, if you see this solution to this, so now just you can see the given data, and so designing a transmitting earth station for the C by N of 26 dB. So this is what is the data given, and also he has given uplink antenna diameter D is equals to 9 meters. Uplink antenna diameter 9 meters, and antenna aperture efficiency 68%. It is 0.68. So now it is also given in the problem. Frequency is 6.285 gigahertz. So lambda can be calculated. Lambda is equal to C by F. You are going to get some value that you can consider. Here this problem, here it is, the lambda is there. So now here, this is the problem. And what is the path loss formula? So lambda by 4 pi R square. So PT GT GR minus PT GT GR into 4 pi lambda by 4 pi R square is actually the general satellite link design. So this lambda by 4 pi r square, 4 by r whole square can be considered as a loss. Therefore, it is reversed here. Therefore, it is square is there 20 log 4 pi r by lambda. Therefore, if you calculate all these things in this, you are going to get the 287 dB, and GT is going to be, and actually this was given, but it is actually not required in the given problem. Here you need to calculate the GT, because this is what is the formula you required for this problem. What is this? C by N is equals to carrier to noise power for a uplink, carrier to noise power for a uplink of the transmitting earth station. So PT GT, that is the EIRP, effective isotropically rated power, PT GT minus loss. That is actually the C by N ratio. Actually, that is the C by N ratio. Just it is what is the carrier to noise power that has been transmitted. So here the losses you need to calculate. Here is only the two losses in the problem has given. Therefore, you consider only the two losses at the contour satellite footprint 2 dB and the clear air attenuation and the other losses. Only these two 0.5. Therefore, what is this? C by N. Ante C by N 26 dB undalante transmitting earth station transmitting antenna C by N 26 dB undalante transmitting power enta undali of the earth station of transmitting antenna. Idi kavali. So deeni koraku manaku you need to know what is the PT GT. Ivanni kudanu dB lo addition ఇది తెలుసు కదా. So now here GT ఒకటి కావాలి. PT GT minus losses. So GT. Hello. Yes. Please mute your mobile phone, sir. So GT you require to calculate here. Once you know the GT, all the data is available. You can get this PT. Is it right? GT can be given. For that only has given the diameter of the transmitting antenna and the antenna aperture efficiency. All are given here. So you require to know the formula for GT is equals to 10 log 10. NE is nothing but the eta E into pi d by lambda whole square. So just you can, you know the 0.68, pi value, you know, D is 9, lambda is, you are going to get C by F from this, and you can get this 10 log 10, this whole value, just you are going to get the 53.7. Please you check that. You check that value. You are going to get this one. So you know the GT. So now the formula used here, it will be C by N is equals to PT GT minus losses. So PT you need to calculate. Your aim is to get the PT. Is it right? So C by N has been given 26 is equals to PT plus in terms of the dB, it will becomes now addition, subtraction, multiplication becomes addition. So PT plus this GT minus of these two minus losses in all cases 200 minus 87 minus 2 minus 0.5 dB, and finally you are going to get the minus 123.67 dB. So you are going to get a minus 123.67 dB watts. So now this way you can calculate this problem. So now here we have solved the two problems because this may be expected in the exam. This may be expected in the problem in the exam. Therefore, please go through the problems as well. In the Timothy Pratt, at the end of each unit, solved problems are also been given. So please see those problems as well. Those problems as well. So now this, with this we can conclude this unit here. And now just I'm going to closing this unit here, and we'll move to the next unit. And in the third unit, till now what we discussed is the third unit, that is the satellite link design, where the basic transmission till I'm going through the syllabus contents. So basic transmission theory we have studied, and system noise temperature and G/T ratio we studied. Design of uplink and the design of downlink, and the complete link design we also covered. And the design of satellite links for specified C/N. This is nothing but the specified C/N. This problem for a specified C/N is 26 dB. For that, what could be the satellite link is to be provided or is to be considered? That is, the PT has to be minus 123.67. Like that, this is related to that. And the system design example where C/N problem. In the first problem, we have discussed about C/N ratio you need to calculate for a given satellite link design or the satellite link budget. So now the other things related to this, you can go through them. And I have given the 1 and 2 chapters, this PPTs, and I will also give you this evening this 3rd unit PPTs as well. Please, you take this as an some reference, and you need to prepare a separate notes for this. And if you prepare a separate notes for this, it would be better for you. So now this evening, I may send the 3rd unit PPTs as well. So now I'm going to the next unit, that is the 4th unit. So now please see this 4th unit. So the 4th unit of this is multiple access. So in the unit, it is given that 4th unit multiple access. So it is going to cover the CO1 and CO2. So the first one is the frequency. First, let us see. Just in this class, just I am going to give the introduction of this unit, and we will see detailedly one by one topic from the tomorrow onwards. So now just you can see here. What is this multiple access? So the 4th unit is the multiple access. In the Timothy Pratt, it is the 6th chapter, multiple access. This is the 6th chapter in the Timothy Pratt book. So now the multiple access means the satellites are always built with the intention that many users will share the bandwidth allocated to the satellite. So many users, the first intention of the satellite is to share the bandwidth by all the users. Bandwidth allocated to the satellite. Satellite lo ఉన్న bandwidth ni andaru users use chesukovalane intention to satellite can be designed, allowing many separate communication links to be established through the satellite transponder. So that is the reason why when we are discussing the design of the satellite, the parameters which we need to consider instead of C/N, this link budget, etc., the kind of the band that we are using, whether it is a C band or KU band or KA band, that in addition to that, the system, the satellite link design cost, the satellite designing cost, that is nothing but the price. And what is the what is the amount that we spent in designing the satellite? That is also one of the parameters is what kind of the multiple access techniques that we are using, particularly in the design cost of the satellite. That is in case of the transponders. So these transponders and also the multiple access techniques that we are used. So is the important one when you consider the amount of the cost of the design of a satellite. So with this, you can see the meaning of this multiple means many, access means many people can have the access. So multiple access. So now what do you mean by this multiple access related to the satellite communication? Let us see here. With the increase of the channel demands, so day by day everybody is demanding the separate channels. Channel demanding is increasing, and the number of earth stations. See here, the channel demand as well as the number of earth stations are increasing. Because of that, therefore, efficient use of satellite transponder in conjunction with the many stations, many earth stations, has resulted the development of multiple access techniques. So here, channel demands are increasing and the number of earth stations are increasing, but the satellite transponder has to be effectively utilized by the many earth stations. The satellite transponder has to be utilized effectively by the many earth stations because of this situation has resulted to develop this multiple access. That means that here the multiple access techniques will help the satellite transponder, which is to be effectively utilized by the many earth stations. So here, that's what is the situation made to have the multiple access techniques. And multiple access is a technique in which the satellite resource or the bandwidth or the time. Satellite resource means in the transponder, it is bandwidth or the time. Satellite resource means the bandwidth or the time that is particularly related to the transponder. So is divided into the multiple access is a technique is a satellite resource is divided into number of non-overlapping segments. The total bandwidth is divided into number of non-overlapping segments, and each segment is allocated exclusively to each of the large number of earth stations. So total bandwidth divided into number of segments. Each segment is related to a group of earth stations. One segment of the satellite resource, so let us say satellite resource has been divided into three segments. One segment is allocated for a certain group of the earth stations, and the second segment has been allocated to a second group of earth stations, and the third segment is allocated to the third group of earth stations. Earth stations who seek the communication with each other. A segment lo who seek the earth stations who seek the communications to each other. And total bandwidth of the satellite is divided into segments, and each segment is specifically allocated to a group of earth stations, and which group of earth stations they can communicate to each other without any interruption. So here, that is what is the multiple access techniques, and there are basically many multiple access techniques are there. These are called as a basic multiple access techniques. There are three basic multiple access techniques are here: frequency division multiple access, FDMA, time division multiple access, TDMA, and code division multiple access, CDMA. So for all these cases, in the coming classes, we will study in detail what is the frame structure and how it is going to do its primary function, and etc. We will see in detail. Right now, just what do you mean by this frequency division multiple access and what are the advantages, etc. we will see. So now let us see these are the three basic multiple access techniques, FDMA we will see. So let us say here it is the frequency division multiple access, So now here you can see in this, in y-axis it is the frequency, in x-axis it is the time. So now here the user can get the satellite at any time. Here, the frequency has been divided into a separate bands: frequency band 1, frequency band 2, frequency band 3 and 4, and etc. to the n bands. This is indicates the n bands. So now please look into this diagram. Frequency division multiple access is saying here that the user can at any time can access the satellite, but with a particular frequency band, particular frequency band. So now here it is. You can use a particular frequency, but at any time you are going to access the communication through the satellite, but different bands of the frequencies allocated. This frequency band 1 is allocated to the user 1, frequency band 2, user 2, like that. So frequency has been divided into a number of bands and allocated to the users. But at any time access with the satellite is possible. So now here just you can see these two lines here I have mentioned here, God bands. This is the band 1 and band 2, band 3, band 4, etc. are there. So to avoid the this God band meaning, so to avoid the interference between this band and this band, it is crosstalk, and the interference taking place between these two bands is avoided by using some God band frequency. So in fact, it is nothing but it is a kind of filters can be used here to avoid the crosstalk as well as the interference between their adjacent bands, adjacent frequency bands in this case. So now just let us see this is what is about the frequency division multiple access, and now you can see the meaning of this frequency division multiple access, etc. You can go through here. In FDMA, frequency division multiple access, all the users share the satellite at the same time. As that y-axis, in x-axis, you can see that at any time can share the satellite by the users at any time, but each user transmits at a unique allocated frequency. For example, for this is the radio broadcasting. So in the radio broadcasting, you might have seen, so particular frequency is meant for a particular broadcasting station, Vijayawada, Hyderabad, whatever it is. So you need to tune to that particular frequency, but at any time you can access that, but you need to tune to a particular frequency. Similarly here, also the same, users please mute your mobile phone, sir. So here, the best example to this is the radio broadcasting. So now here it is very clear, at any time you can access the communication, but you need to transmit a particular unique allocated frequency only. Unique allocated frequency only. So now in this, the example is the radio broadcasting. Each radio station is allocated a frequency and bandwidth and transmits its signals within that piece of frequency spectrum only, within the piece of that frequency spectrum only. So now the frequency division multiple access. So now here FDMA, frequency division multiple access, can be used with the analog and digital signals. So now digital signal transmission and analog signal transmission, for both the cases, this FDMA can be useful for that. So that means the digital and analog signals can be used. FDMA can be used for transmitting and receiving of this analog and the digital signals. So that is what is in both the cases it is possible, but whereas in other techniques are not like that. So here the one point, FDMA can be used with the analog and digital signals, and every user can access the satellite in allocated frequency band all the time. This is again, it is repeated in the first statement already I mentioned. Every user can access the satellite in allocated frequency band in at all the time. All the time, it can access the satellite or communication establishment can be taken. And the total time slot is available. You know that at any time, you can have the access of the satellite. That means the total time slot is available, but frequency band is restricted. So the another point here. So total time slot is available, but frequency is restricted because particular frequency only at that frequency only you need to transmit, or within that frequency spectrum of that only you need to transmit. And now the total slot is available, but frequency is restricted. Every band is, there are mentioned frequency band 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. Every band is acting like a channel. Every band is acting like a channel, which are used only the user to whom it is provided. That means that frequency band 1 is allocated to channel 1 and frequency band 2 is allocated to user 2, etc. Therefore, every band is acting like a channel, and which can be used by only the user which to whom it is provided. Particular user only, you can use that particular frequency band, not by all. Is it right? The second user can use only the frequency band of the 2. So similarly, in order to avoid the crosstalk between the adjacent channels, God bands are used. It is clear, as I said earlier, God bands are used for avoiding the crosstalk and the interference. So now these are the basic things. With the complete structure, we'll study one by one later. So now this is what is the frequency division multiple access briefing about this one, and we shall also see the advantages and the disadvantages of this one. So advantages is a little synchronization is required. A little synchronization is required. That means that to have the access of the satellite all the time it is possible, but so synchronization of the users to the band is required. Not much difficult of getting this synchronization. In this case, if you use the FDMA multiple access technique in the satellite, and where the user need to have, in fact, synchronization is not, in fact, it is required, but little synchronization is required. Synchronization process, having the satellite with the user. Sync pulses, synchronization is required. That's what is the meaning. And low ISI, intersymbol interference, as you know that intersymbol interference is less. Low ISI effect, intersymbol interference. That already you might have studied in this fiber optic communications also there, intersymbol interference. When you transmit the signals to the fiber, there will be some time slots are there, and once you complete the transmission of the data at the end of that fiber, it is going to be resulting data is going to have the different time slot. Therefore, if you see the pulse width increases, therefore you are going to say that it is happened because of the different symbols are transmitted in different times. So that effect is, in this case, is less. Once that ISI, intersymbol interference, is increased, the data rate will decrease. So that is why it is ISI, intersymbol interference, is less in this case, FDMA. So availability of resources for all time. So that means availability of resources in the sense the satellite's bandwidth and the time. Satellite is always available, and that is what availability of resources for all time for a particular given or allocated frequency. At any time you can have that access. That's what is the third one. And the disadvantage, if you see, it requires the expensive filters. So what is this meaning of this expensive filters? Means filter structure. Filters are going to be used no, in the God band frequencies, God band frequencies or God bands are need to be used to avoid the interference of the crosstalk, where the filters are going to be used, and such filters are is the very expensive one, and causes the signal spreading. So little bit of the signal spreading. Signal spreading means so widening of the pulse width, signal spreading as it is using the analog and the digital signals. The signal spreading may be increased a little and causes radiation leakage. So leakage of the radiation where it is supposed not to radiate, and the radiation leakage is also possible. These are the disadvantages, and let's move to the next one, TDMA. Next one is the time division multiple access. It is exactly opposite to that. It is the next one is the second one, time division multiple access. In this, it is just a minute. Sir. So now in this case, so time division multiple access, you can see this diagram. In y-axis, it is frequency, and x-axis, it is the time. So now you can also observe that, so the total, the frequency is the same, but the time has been divided into a number of slots. Time has been divided into a number of slots. That means that the user 1 is having this time slot, user 2 is having this time slot, user 3, and but the frequency will be the same. It is nothing. Time has been divided. Time division multiple access. It is called as a time division multiple access. In this case, time division multiple access, each user is allocated a unit time slot, where in case of the FDMA, each user is allocated a unique frequency band. Here it is unique time slot at the satellite, time slot at the satellite, so that signals pass through the transponder sequentially. So here in this time slot, the user can access the satellite. So in this, only user 2 can access this one. So for n number of time slots are going to be provided. So the frequency will be the same here, same frequency, but here the time slots are varied. The multiple time division multiple access. This is called a time division multiple access. And now you can see here so this is meant for the digital communications only. Time division multiple access is digital communications only. So in digital system, continuous transmission is not required. In digital system, continuous transmission is not required because users do not use the allotted bandwidth all the time. In such cases, TDMA is used. In such cases, TDMA is used. So each user is given a particular time slot, as this figure shows. Each user is given a particular time slot regularly after fixed intervals. Regularly after a fixed intervals, each user has been given the time slots. Hence, here the total time is divided into multiple slots. So as this figure says, the total time is divided into multiple time slots. Let us say time slot 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on to the n number of time slots. The total time has been divided into multiple time slots. That is slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and so on to the n number of time slots. Here, the user have the complete availability of the satellite. So let slot 1 is allotted to the user 1. It means that during this time slot, user 1 can access the satellite with complete availability of its bandwidth. So particular time it is only, so user 1, let the user 1 has been allotted the slot 1. Therefore, during that time slot, the user can completely access the satellite with the complete bandwidth. So user can, therefore, what is this meaning? A particular time slot lo user complete bandwidth ni use chestuntaru. Time slot, particular time. Other than that, during that time, other users cannot come into the picture. So therefore, user can have the tremendous speed because at that time instant, all the bandwidth is being used by this user one. So that is the reason why user can have the tremendous speed as the bandwidth is completely available. So now here, the user have the complete availability of the satellite. So let us consider that slot one is allotted to the user one. It means that during this slot one period or slot one time, user one can access the satellite with complete bandwidth. Complete bandwidth. Therefore, it is very high speed, tremendous speed is available because in this time slot, no other users are there. The whole bandwidth is being utilized by the single user for a particular time slot of the slot one by the user one. Therefore, it is going to be very high speed. So guard bands are used to avoid the crosstalk and interference. That is already is given. This guard band here you can see this. I forgot to show here. This is the guard band. Is it right? So these I have given this vertical small lines you have mentioned here. In this case, this is the guard band. This is the slot one and slot two adjacent slots. This is the guard band, and from slot two and slot three, this is the guard band. So 3, 4, and 5, these are the guard bands. These guard bands are the same meaning as we said in the frequency division multiple access, where it is the guard bands are used to avoid the crosstalks or the interference between these adjacent adjacent channels. You can say this slot one is one particular channel and this is another channel. So therefore, adjacent channel interference and the crosstalk can be avoided by using the so now you can see this one here, time division multiple access technique. The TDMA frame structure is particularly what could be the, just I have given the word here, but what is the structure of that, everything we'll see in detail when we are discussing one by one technique separately, deeply, where we can see this time division multiple access frame structure is consisting of TDMA frame structure is consisting of preamble, information, data, and the trail bits. This is completely the three. This is nothing but if you consider this is the header, preamble, and this is the data, and at the end it is a trail bits, and what are their functions and how do they be present in this structure, etc. We will see. Just right now a word I have been given here. The TDMA frame structure consisting of the preamble, trail bits at the both ends, and in between the data, which is the information to be transmitted, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, like that we have mentioned there in the diagram. That will be the data in between the header left side, trailer bits right side, in between the data is there. So now with this just we can say that the TDMA multiple access. So now just let us see the advantages as well. Data rate is faster, as I said that as already we have said that during the time slot 1 only during that time slot all the available bandwidth is being utilized by the user 1, therefore tremendous speed will be there, therefore data rates are very faster and bandwidth is more efficient, because in the time slot the more efficiently the bandwidth is being utilized by the We are not sharing the bandwidth. In case of the bandwidth sharing is possible in the FDMA, but here we are not sharing, but the complete bandwidth we are allocating to the particular user one for a time slot of 1. Therefore, bandwidth efficiently utilized, and it is cheaper than the FDMA. If you consider the cost of this TDMA technique, time division multiple access technique, the price will be the lesser than the earlier frequency division multiple access technique. And the other one is the full power efficiency is possible. That is, mobile device can save their battery power by turning off the transmitting and receiving data. So in the first generation and the second generation, they have used this one, where the TDMA process, TDMA technique has been used. In case if you do not want to have the this communication, then you can just simply switch off this by turning off this device, mobile device can save their battery by just turning off the transmitting and receiving data. Just if you switch off this mobile, and you will can have the power can be saved. So, and the example for this is the walkie-talkie. In a particular time slot, one is speaking to that, and the other one is waiting for that. So, like this, you can give this example to this. And now, so the other one is the code division multiple access, and that we will see in the next class. And for the summing up of this class is just in this class we have discussed about the one problem related to the third unit, where you need to calculate the transmitting power for a given amount of the C/N ratio. That means you are restricting the transmitting antenna. You supposed to know what is the transmitting power to have the C/N of 26 dB. So for that, just one problem we have solved. That is the third unit. Then we entered into the fourth unit. It's called the multiple access. Multiple access. In this case, just we have given the briefing of this multiple access. It is nothing but the multiple access is nothing but the ability of the satellite to carry the many signals at the same time. It is known as the multiple access. So it is the ability of the satellite to carry many signals at the same time. It is called the multiple access, and the multiple access allows the communication capacity of the satellite to be shared among a large number of earth stations. For that, it is there are three basic these multiple access techniques are there: FDMA, TDMA, and CDMA. CDMA we have not studied. Next class we'll see. And frequency division multiple access, all the time we can have the access with the satellite, but for a particular frequency band only, the user can be given a particular frequency band. In that, you can have the, at any time we can access, but with a particular frequency. Frequency has been divided. Multiple frequency division, frequency has been divided. In the time division, time slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, time has been divided, but the frequency will be the same. At any time we can have the, not at any time, the frequency will be the same, but particular the time slot only user can access the time, access the satellite, but with the full availability of the bandwidth of the satellite, therefore speed of this is going to be the more. So in case of, so FDMA can be used for the analog and the digital signals, whereas the TDMA it is only used for the digital signals only. So now we studied the advantage and disadvantage of each TDMA and FDMA, and we'll see the next CDMA in the next class, and further topics also follows in the next class. So now I'm going to close the class here. Okay. Hello. Please, as this is the first class of this unit, everybody please go through the introduction, and you can take any textbook. Please go through the multiple access techniques for the satellite communications. All are available. Just I have considered these topics from the Pat Timothy. Please go through. That is the sixth chapter in this textbook. So now I'm going to close the class. Now everybody can leave the meeting.